This is the Biz Call. Question 1. What's your name?
William Osgood.
Question 2. What's the name of your business?
We are a company called CFR and Associates, which used to stand for Coaching for Results. And then we grew and we added Associates, so hence the name change.
Question 3. Describe your business in 1 or 2 or 3 sentences.
I'll choose 3 for the simple reason we have 3 different business units. The first one is a coaching and consulting company specializing in helping government contractors. The second one is a staffing and recruiting, where we emphasize and focus on helping veterans get work, and then we help companies hire those veterans. And then the third one is a government contracting arm, where we execute government contracts.
Okay, question 4. What's your revenue model? How do you make your money?
So all 3 of those units produce revenue. The bulk of our income is derived from government contracts which comes out of the CFR Supply Chain Management Company and CFR and Associates.
Okay, so are we talking fees by the hour, consulting? Just get a little more specific on how you charge.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, so all 3 actually. We have all 3 models in play. Many government contracts are what are called firm fixed price. So we submit a bid, and then that bid applies throughout the duration of the contract. The second one is when we're working on public works projects, we're generally time and materials or basically hourly rates of consulting. And then thirdly is staffing and recruiting, which is a firm fixed fee where we'll submit a per employee cost to help that company hire veterans.
Question 5. Are you brick and mortar, online, or both?
I'd say both, only to the extent that we have 2 offices. We also are in the field quite a bit, but then again, we do some of our consulting work online. So I would say it's a combination of both.
Okay, question 6, and this is my favorite, so you can take as much time as you want. How did you decide to get into this business?
That's a great question. And that's why I can tell it's your favorite. It's simply because you move where where my passion is. My passion was in helping other people, and it always has been. And so when I left the Boy Scouts of America in 2004, I had a coaching certification. So I immediately just started offering coaching services. What I needed to learn, though, was how to make money. And I've been on a course for the last 17 years learning how to actually monetize the value that I provide for my clients. So what happened is very interesting because we did very well from 2004 to 2008. The bottom dropped out of the economy in 2008 during the real estate debacle, and we had to reinvent ourselves. So I asked the question, who had the money? That answer was President Obama had just come in with his American Recovery Act, and President Bush had just signed the TARP, which was $720 billion worth of federal financial assistance. So there's $3 trillion coming into the economy. And so we learned how to become a government contractor at that time. And I have just enjoyed that pursuit ever since. There is so much to learn in that space because it's massive, it's huge, it's changing all the time. There's companies that come in and leave, companies that come in and dominate, companies that come in and try different things and bring solutions to the marketplace. So it's been an exciting ride. We're still learning too, by the way, which is a really amazing experience for myself and my company and our employees to be able to continue to learn. We're always looking at how the government is changing, what they're requiring, what our prime contractors require, and what our clients require. And so it's been a never-ending pursuit of learning and following that passion to help other people.
Very good. Question 7. Why would customers choose you over your competition?
I think what they like about us is a couple of things. We have a great reputation in the marketplace. We're very well known and respected in the marketplace. We have a track record of success in the marketplace. We have a very good outreach and education arm where we can bring the government and the contracting community together, and that's been very good. That helps our credibility as well. And so I believe the nuts and bolts of why a prospective client customer would want to go with CFR and Associates is because of the level of competence that we bring and the knowledge that we bring, having been in this sector now for some 11 plus years.
Okay. Question 8. If you have one, what's the exit strategy or long-term goal for your business?
That's a great question. And, up until last fall, I couldn't have answered that. But I was blessed to go through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. And there I did write an exit strategy. So currently our exit strategy will be for me to work about another 10 to 15 years, Lord willing. And at that time, we'll begin transitioning to an employee-owned company.
Very good. Question 9. So what are you doing to increase your business?
And that's also a good question because, boy, you have to ask that question almost every day because money just doesn't grow on trees and revenue doesn't grow on trees. And when you are contract focused, your revenue is dependent on when you win contracts or when you get paid on them. So we pursue 3 different strategies. We're always pursuing a contract to try and keep those fresh and alive in our portfolio where we're always on contract. That's been the most satisfying part of it is lately we've been on contract for quite a while, and so the revenue is more consistent than it's been over the previous 15, 16 years. Secondly, when prospective clients want to hire veterans, they will pay a retainer, and there's more need than we've seen over the last 3-4 years in companies that would like to hire veterans. So we're getting a lot of interest at that level. And then thirdly, when our clients win contracts, we're on a commission basis with them, and so we're receiving that residual commission every time they're paid. We get paid. So it's been a real learning experience to get to that place. Because before it was nip and tuck, where we could go months without receiving any kind of revenue and struggling through that period. So having a multifaceted revenue stream potential has been much more comfortable, I would say, than previous.
Okay. Question 10. How do you measure your marketing success?
That's also a good question because sometimes there are ebbs and flows to a marketing plan and its success. But I think ultimately for us, again, I use the rule of 3, and you'll hear this repeatedly throughout our conversation. But I use a rule of 3 for determining that as well. So my first evaluation criteria is how does the funnel look? Is it empty? Is it medium full? Is it full? And that determines what comes next. And the second measurement or the second criteria for evaluation is what's popping out of it. What is the number of clients and or contracts and or companies wishing to hire veterans and contracting us to hire veterans? How many are popping out on generally I evaluate it about every 30 days. So for us, we need at least something to come out of that funnel monthly for us to have that comfortable revenue stream. And then thirdly, and most importantly, is the overall general increase in revenue month over month. So as I watch us come out of the COVID season and into a new period, a new season, I'm looking to see at least some kind of monthly increase in revenue. And that tells me that we are at least the marketing is working that we're engaging in at this time. Doesn't mean that it can't get better, but it certainly means that it's producing some increase in prospects, into customers, and finally into revenue.
I like that. That's very clear, and it's actually incredibly simple. That's terrific. Question 11, and it can be just a quick yes or no. Are you profitable?
Yes.
Good. We like that. 12, how many employees do you have?
Currently, we have 4. We are actually looking to bring another one in. It's based on unfortunately, it's based on winning a contract. But we are looking to grow this year, and we could potentially double this year in size. So I'm looking at probably closing the year somewhere between 6 and 8 employees. So we're still small, very small business.
Okay. Question 13 and 14, two sides of the same coin. Question 13. What's been the best decision you've made so far?
I love that question, and I was looking forward to answering it. I don't think that the sole determination of how successful we are is based purely on revenue. I mean, certainly that's an important criteria, and you can't stay in business without generating revenue and then being profitable. I think, though, one of the things that's got me most excited, particularly over the last year and a half, where we've seen our revenues decrease by over 50% year over year. And I think we're going to reverse that trend this year. But one of the things that's got me most excited is that we've went out and set out on this rigorous course of learning. Every employee was responsible to generate 30 hours of educational learning and then report to the rest of the team on what they learned. For myself, it was incredibly powerful. Last year alone, during the COVID season, I finished the end of the regular normal period by going through a veterans and procurement boot camp in Maryland. I came out of that, hired a business coach, engaged them for 5 months, and grew my business significantly, even in the beginning of COVID. And then thirdly, when everything dried up during COVID, I went engaged in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business program, which was about 30 to 35 hours a week of learning and growth and working specifically on my business. So I think that that's one of the ones that I'm really, really excited about. I think learning, it keeps you passionate, and it keeps me humble, and it teaches me that I don't know everything, and it teaches me also that I can continue to learn how to get better, even in areas where I think I'm already good. And so that, for us, has been a real driving force, is that desire and that passion to continue to learn, so that we get better in our current offerings, but that I also become a better business owner.
Okay, then let's ask its darker cousin. Question 14. What's been the worst decision you've made so far?
I knew that was right on the heels, and I was going to avoid that one. That's always, I think if you're honest with yourself, those numbers that the answer to that question is really too numerous to really expound on. But I would say for me, not engaging in the practice of learning early on, waiting literally 15, 16 years before I was humble enough and smart enough to say, you know what, I don't know how to be a good business owner. I mean, I stayed in business, but it wasn't comfortable, and we weren't knocking people dead with our revenue income. And so I think the greatest thing that I have learned, and it comes about as a result of probably the biggest mistakes that I've made, was I would rather learn from other people's mistakes than my own. And for the first 15 years, I learned from my own mistakes. And now I want to learn the right way. I want to learn from other people's mistakes. So that's sort of a rounded way to get to that answer. I think that when you think you know everything about business, you're in big trouble.
You know, I think that one comment justifies this entire interview. I think this is one of those thoughts that a lot of our listeners really need to hear. They could probably save themselves 10 or 15 years. I know I could have. Okay. Question 15.
Yes, and me too, right? That's what I just was talking about. I've blown 15 years thinking I knew how to be good in business before I humbled myself and decided, hey, get some help. You've been blessed with some revenue. Get a coach. Go through some programs that are going to be painful for you because they're going to expose the areas of your business that you're not good at. And if I can, Rob, let me just share quick.
What's that?
I'll keep this in about 10 seconds. I learned over the last year that what I didn't know about my business was I did not understand and didn't know the numbers of the business. So I took off on this deep study of how do I learn the numbers of my business. And once I started learning that and started developing the ability to do my own profit and loss, my own balance sheets, my own income cash flow statements, all of a sudden things, wow, they took a whole different look.
Yeah, and the optimist in me says, yeah, it might have been 10 years, but thank goodness it wasn't 30.
Very good. Hey, you know, if I would have continued on the path I was on, it would have been 30.
All righty. So last question, question 15. This is a total free ball. Is you can add anything. Do you think there's something that our listeners need to hear that you'd like to add? Have at it. Stage is yours.
Well, thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for reaching out to me. And I love sharing my story. And without being redundant, I really would encourage your listeners and your readers to take a look at your business attitude. And are you open and receptive to learning something new? And are you willing to ask yourself the tough questions about your business? And so I always encourage my clients to look at 4 things. What can I do better? What can I eliminate? What can I tweak? In other words, make refinements to that will allow us to get better. And then finally, what should I not even pursue? And sometimes it's that question alone, because we think we have this ability to engage in activities because we're good business people or because, well, it's just a little bit outside of our core competencies. Or I've seen other people make a lot of money at this. And to not really honor the spirit of our business model in a sense of being able to do what we do better than anybody else does it. And so I set out on this mission years ago to be the very best at what we do. And we haven't got there yet, but we're on this continuous pursuit to be the very, very best at what we do. And so when we say that we're a government contract consulting firm that helps the business community pursue and win government contracts. We really stand behind that. I mean, we go to that nth degree. Not every one of our clients gets a contract because there's other factors involved, but we certainly want them to understand that we are doing everything that is humanly powerful within our abilities to make that happen. And I certainly want people to understand that you're only as good as the goal that you set for yourself to be. So if I say, okay, I want to be good, well, we're already good. So then that means there's no more room for growth. So by saying that we want to be the very best, we want to be excellent in everything we do, well, that's going to take a long time. That's going to be a process of continuous learning and continuous improvement to get there. And that's where I want to be. And so we're always looking at ways that we can get better and do what we do better than anybody else does.
Okay, cool. The phone connection got a little funky there, so I just want to make sure people really understand that in terms of if they were to want to get into the government contracting world, you would be a terrific first step for them to contact. Am I correct?
Yes, we would be. And we'll do even one better. We would offer them a complimentary consultation with absolutely zero obligation to just kind of walk them through what is required and what do you need to be in terms of your financial capacity, your capability in terms of your ability to execute a scope of work, no matter what it is, whether it's professional services or construction or IT or, whatever it might be, product delivery and development, to be able to walk through that. And then finally, if there are advantages that we could provide, because maybe you're a veteran business, maybe you're a woman-owned business, maybe you're a minority business owner, whatever it might be, we have the kind of knowledge to be able to position your firm so that you can open doors that would not ordinarily be open to you.
Great. Okie doke. So one more time, slowly, because I said this phone conversation, this recording quality, not the best. So slowly, clearly, please repeat the name of the business and the URL where people can contact you for that free consultation.
Terrific. I will go slow, Rob. Thank you. So my name is William Osgood, Osgood. The company name is C as in Charlie, F as in Foxtrot, R as in Romeo, and Associates. To get to the website, you would go www.cfrandassociates.com. And then if you want to email me, please feel free. It's william@cfrandassociates.com.
If you'd like to plug your business on the Biz Call podcast, simply visit thebizcall.com and fill out the form. If you become a guest, you'll receive a free lifetime membership to the Biz Call discussion and networking list. If you're too shy, you can still join the Biz Call list at thebizcall.com.